Hey everyone, this is Angelena at IndySoft. I am taking a quick Tip Tuesday video for you, showing you how you can use our Set Charges utility in IndySoft to import charges from a text file. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. First things first, I would highly recommend, if you're going to be accessing the utility often, to add a hyperlink onto your home page. If you're not familiar with how to do that, we have some Tip Tuesday videos. You can simply right-click in your home layout and then edit the current layout. Keep in mind, of course, you are going to need to have system administrator rights to do this. But I've already gone ahead and added my hyperlink in, so let's just launch it. Set Charges utility. Alright. So as you can see here on the left-hand side, there are multiple options that you can use the charges utility for. You can update equipment charges, add charges to templates, update those template charges, update any company charges, add edit company charges, delete charges, and import charges. So what we are going to be focusing on today is that import charges section. Now, first step when you're looking in here is, instead of just going and hitting import equipment charges, you're going to need a basis or a foundation of the columns and information you are going to need to enter to successfully import these charges. So what you can do is, if you right-click, or not right-click, just click on this button here, and we have an option to create the sample equipment import file. So hit on that. And this is going to just create a sample txt file with some test data inside, just like such. Test company, test ID, test charge, all that good stuff. So just looking at this, it's a little bit confusing because not all of the column names line up with the column data. So gauge SN, for example, is located here. Line description right here. Line unit right here. So it can get a little bit confusing to edit directly inside of the text file. So what I highly recommend is actually going into Excel and creating a new sample template for yourself, simply using all of these column names from the database in your Excel file. So I've already gone ahead and done this. Let me launch that and show you. Company, gauge SN, charge type, line description, line quantity, line unit, line cost, taxable. Now, it's important that you have all of the column names here and they are all correct so that the utility is recognizing each individual field when it's being pulled into the import. Next little tip for you is, if you're not familiar with how these database fields are named in terms of display names in IndySoft, you can use our data dictionary utility to double check on all of that. Now, data dictionary can be launched also from the install directory, defaults to C program files IndySoft, and then the utility is just called datadictionary.exe. I've already gone ahead and popped it open. So right here, I went in and I'm looking at the table repair parts GI, which holds the individual charges on the equipment level. So right here, repair parts GI is my table name. And as you can see, if I start moving through, company, gauge SN, charge type, and then line description, line quantity, line cost, taxable, account number, all that good stuff is located right here. And you can see the field names in the database as well as the display names in IndySoft. So for example, let's say internal account number. If you don't know what this is, you can go to Data Dictionary, look at internal account number, and then the display name is cost GL number. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. Now, if I go back to my equipment view and I add a charge, you'll see where that cost GL number field is. And in turn, this is how everything is going to connect, and all that data is going to be pulled into the client. So, just another helpful trick to make sure that you are pulling in the right data into the right fields. But otherwise, once this is complete, you can go in and start creating data to import. So I'm going to start by creating just a little test import using the gauge that I'm currently on in the view. So my ABC company, gauge ascent is 45, charge type, I'm going to define this as a calibration charge type here. Description, you don't need to add a description. I'm going to add a description of test. And just another side note, to see what fields are actually necessary, you can also double check in data dictionary. So charge type, gauge ascent, and gauge company are all going to be required fields in this case. So line quantity, I'm going to say 2. Line unit, not going to give any units here. Line cost, so that is going to be the per unit charge. Line cost, charge per unit. So I'm just going to say 50. Taxable, this is a true or false box, so I'm going to say, just for testing purposes, true to show that it checks. Line internal cost is the cost. I'm not going to touch that. Line discount, I'm not going to touch that either. Part number, no part number in this case. And then account number and internal account number. That's the charge GL number and the cost GL number. So as a test, I'm actually going to add in the account number, which is my charge GL number, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So very simple import, just one line of data. Now, since this is an Excel file, you're going to want to make sure to save this as a tab delimited text file. So the option should look like this, text tab delimited, and I'm going to rename this sample ABC, save it, and now, very important step is to make sure that you close out of the Excel file, otherwise the import will throw an error. So close out of the Excel file, go back into the import module, and before I import the equipment charges, I'll show you what that text file looks like with my ABC company information in comparison to my test. So as you can see, everything is virtually the same, besides the data is now organized according to how I input it into Excel. So we can go ahead and test out this import. So click Import Equipment Charges. It's going to automatically prompt you to choose a tab delimited text file. Mine is ABC, open. And really nice thing about this utility is before going ahead and completing the import, it's going to give you a little preview of your data to confirm that everything looks as expected before completing the import. So you can just review this, and based on what I have here, everything looks good. Everything came in as I wanted it to. So I'm going to hit Start Import. Equipment import is complete. Of course, if you have more data, that may take a little bit longer. Let's just go back to the home page, reload our settings, and let's take a look at the charge. Alright, so right here you can see that my calibration charge type has popped up under my ABC company gauge 45. So let's take a look at these fields and see what it looks like after importing. So charge type is brought in and blocked out as calibration. Description is test. Quantity is 2. Charge per unit is 50. In turn, my total charge is calculated correctly. And then I also have my charge GL number listed as well as taxable checked. So this all looks exactly how I wanted it to. And this can be really useful if you have a text file or an Excel file full of charges that you want to import and don't have a way to do it in the export-import module, or would just like a simple way to update and edit charges. This is the way to go about that. Now, if you have any questions or concerns or anything like that, just reach out to us at IndySoft support and we are happy to help. Thanks.